So this will be our extent environmental analysis for plant propagation and nursery farm industry. So first is the description of the industry.
Houseplant were once symbolizing a wealthy status in the society which meant to impress others. And recently, houseplants become a trend again, but when and where did this trend really begin? In the human history, one of the earliest records of houseplants is the famous Hanging Gardens of Babylon. After Babylon, the practice of indoor gardening with potted plants can be traced back to the early Egyptians, Greek, and Romans. While the Japanese have been dwarfing trees for ornamental purposes for centuries, in the Victorian era, houseplants become incredibly popular in the mid to late 80s, wherein it is the era where the advancement in architecture allowed for better heated homes and more natural lights for the plants. Recent decades have been the revolution in the planting and gardening industry, and up until now, it is increasingly fast-paced, hyper-connected world we live in today. The development and use of houseplants have been rising from the workplace to naturally migrated to homes. No wonder it is no longer just a status symbol for wealth, but has now become a symbol of beauty, wellness, and clean living. There are two types of supply chain. The normal supply chain and the most widely used is the supply chain used for e-commerce, gardening, nursery, and landscaping companies. They provide their own website where different plants and landscaping services are located that enables the consumers to choose and place their orders. The orders are being processed with the help of order system which allows for the payment processor to deal with the payment transactions. There are some instances wherein the payment processor use their own system which means it's open up a new supply chain, but most of the time, payments were done through the help of third parties. When the order is placed, the warehouse receives it and ensures it is ready for delivery, which is the last step until the end user receives it. Both warehousing and delivery companies can be either in-house or a third-party logistics and shipping provider. Next.
In the year 2015 to 2020, industrial operators battled with transformation and expansion in both the developed and undeveloped countries to stay competitive within the supply chain. Common distributors outlets, including manufacturers and importers, supplying industrial goods in bulk to wholesalers, have decreased, accounting for less than half of overall business transactions. Supervising industrial owners, manufacturers, and importers are rapidly marketing goods directly to retailers. Next. Um, Facets. Bakit parang nagano? Areas of competition. Some in the year 2000 and early 2010, the economy experienced rapid decrease and consumers felt they should spend far less on non-essential items such as plants and gardens in their bags. Although the entire garden sector had declined in revenue, the business was not as poor as other industries. They also encountered the slow market of the industry with a falling consumer confidence, increase of inflation of incomes, and less spending on the amenity. And with this, the industry is facing a challenging times and prices are likely to remain competitive to the market. A variety of distribution networks moving nursery goods to manufacturers and then eventually to customers has led to accelerate growth in the nursery industry. In the year 2000 and 2006, the sector growth rate is 18%. Mass traders, home outlets, garden centers with common venue, numerous garden centers, landscape companies, and wholesalers are the key retail options that have led to the rise of horticultural sales. Next, um, nursery-based producers must predict their potential costs and benefits and provide set of guidelines used to make decisions on how to use them or not, and emerging technologies. New innovations can minimize risk, but greater management levels and human analysis may also be required for each operation. There are many technology nurseries today using the internet as one of the most modern technologies that offer an immediate connection to everyone, such as nursery manufacturers, suppliers who set up websites to sell goods. It helps the farmers to make queries and exchange essential details through the email and on the phone. enabling buyers and sellers to carry out online transactions. Next. Next.
The planting and gardening industry is highly competitive, which means it is important to offer the consumers a wide variety of choices when shopping for plants, trees, garden supplies, and landscaping services while keeping the prices low for the consumers as well as giving an exceptional customer service in order to meet the needs of the business target market. With that, creating a product and service differentiation when it comes to its quality, variety, pricing, and image is a key in order to succeed and gain a competitive advantage in the planting and gardening industry. Next.
Okay, for the likeliness of new entrants, so there is an average of 1.8 growth per year in the year 2015 to 2020. So people are attracted to the industry in such way that there is a high competition due to its low barriers of entry. So there is a rapid growth in the plant industry in the Philippines, mainly because there is a mandatory, we are now experiencing 8-month quarantine. So most people are now in their respective homes. So they become gardening as their hobby to kill some time or to do something that is productive in this um, while in quarantine. So the main contribution, the huge demand is social media, according to Berceros, which is interviewed by ABS-CBN. So the accessibility of different suppliers and to its supplies are mainly available since this is naturally produced. So entrepreneurs tend to have easy access to different products that sometimes illegally get or remove or called plant poaching. So the power of supply to bargain with firms in the supply chain, since there is a huge demand for the product, some suppliers do have the power in the supply chain. So new entrants in the industry finds or finds suitable suppliers that they that offers or or something that they can take advantage of. So these are the good offers that they can be an advantage for their business. So in the Philippine experience, a shortage of plants and pots in the mid-June 2020, the suppliers almost often sold out. So this means that they can alter the price. So because there is a huge demand and limited supply, the price can be high for because of the limited supply. So for the power customer to bargain up price, it will be based on the perspective of the buyer and the seller. So when it comes to end user to the retailer, mostly there is a power because there is a lot of customer rather than retailers. But when it comes to retailers to its supplier, there is less power since there is only limited supplier of plants and retailers get the same product from the same supplier. So mainly because this is a retailers have this intense competition when it comes to offering their product to the end user. So according the numbers of sites are smaller than the number of customers, means that customer have the advantage to find and buy from other retailers. When it comes to supplying B2B, part of customer relatively low since there is a lot of customer for the product. So type of substitute product, mostly the substitute products are the imported plants that came from Thailand, Vietnam, or Southeast Asia. And these are the plants that are considered rare because, and these are high value. So these are the threats because some of the plants that are Presiden's company are locally produced. So intensity competitive rivalry in an industry. So mainly there is a large competition when it comes to the industry since they are offering the same product. So the competitive advantage is mostly not evident or it is hard to distinguish what are the competitive advantage of other businesses. So mainly they can do is that find plants that are not that sikat or not that popular na that they can offer to the market. So they can utilize this as their competitive advantage and to lessen the intensity of the industry. So that's all for our external environmental analysis. So thank you for listening and